Hi everybody, welcome to Carmen's Australian Storytime. Today I'm reading another Dr Seuss book, and boy oh boy is it a warm one today, which got me thinking about the weather. And I know that some prep students are learning about the weather at the moment, so I thought I would read this book. Oh say, can you say, what's the weather today? All about the weather, and it's written by Tish Rabi and illustrated by Aristides Ruiz. I hope I said that right again. I love Dr Seuss books. I'm the cat in the hat, and it's raining, I know, but let's not stay inside. We've got places to go. Some places when it rains, the weather's still warm, like Darwin and sometimes Brisbane, so you can go outside in the rain. Where the sunshine is shining, where warm winds are blowing, where lightning is flashing, where snowflakes are snowing, the weather is changing. Come on, let's get going. And of course it's rhyming. First stop is the top of Mount Karakaku, where they study the weather. That's all they do, studying the weather. What do you call someone who studies the weather, do you know? A meteorologist. Watching the weather helps everyone know what to wear, where to live, and what food they can grow. Pilots check weather when they fly a plane. Are they flying in sunshine or clouds filled with rain? Corn grows where it is hot, rice grows where it is wet. Farmers grow what grows best in the weather that they get. Sorry, there's a bit of shine on the book there. Can you see that? Meteorologists forecast the weather and say what kind of weather is heading our way. Air temperature affects weather a lot. Thermometers show if it's cold or if it's hot. They send weather balloons floating high in the air to measure how hot or cold it is there. Wind changes weather, and we can see why. It blows clouds along and clears rain from the sky. Anemometers measure how fast the wind goes. A wind vane will show you which way the wind blows. See the anemometer and the weather vane blowing. On this map, you'll see it is showing it's sunny in Gret, but in Grugel it's snowing. A strong wind is blowing the snow right towards Gret. Tomorrow the weather in Gret will be wet. Symbols on weather maps show right away what kind of weather we're having today. This symbol means drizzle, and this one means rain. This means it's snowing, and this means hurricane. We don't have hurricanes in Australia, but sometimes we have windstorms and cyclones. Weather forecasts are important to us. Will we need a jacket to wait for the bus? When clouds form a ring and it circles the moon, sailors know this ring means there's a storm coming soon. A pine cone can forecast the weather. Here's why. It's closed when it's wet, opened when it's dry. Here is a fact that we cannot explain. Frogs croak a lot more when it's going to rain. That happens a lot at my house. There are all kinds of clouds you can see in the sky. Cirrus are light and wispy, clouds floating by. Cumulonimbus clouds mean there's a storm on the way. You see cumulus clouds on a warm, sunny day. When a cloud touches down on the ground, it's called fog. If it mixes with smoke, then the fog becomes smog. A fun way to learn a cloud's shape is to draw it. We said that's a cirrus the minute we saw it. Now, I always taught my students some tricky ways to remember. So cumulus means accumulate, it means a lot of, and nimbus means rain. So if it's a cumulus cloud, it's a big white fluffy cloud. But if it's a cumulus nimbus, it's a rain cloud. It's got lots of heavy, dark look to the bottom of it. And if it's a cirrus, we used to call it a curly-haired cirrus because it's wispy and curly. Like some of the kids in our class, they had wispy curly hair, so that's how we remembered cirrus. And there's also another cloud called a stretchy stratus, and they're the big long ones that stretch across the sky. So we called them stretchy stratus to help us remember, because they look like they're stretched out clouds, nice straight ones across the sky. Water droplets form clouds. If you looked inside any cloud, you would see water droplets that bounce all around happily. If the droplets get close, they will soon join together, get heavy and fall. Then we're in for wet weather. They fall to the ground, then the sun's energy turns them to water vapor, which we cannot see. Water vapor floats up, forms a new cloud, and then rain falls from the cloud to the ground once again. And that's the water cycle. Water droplets are tiny. This fact made us stop. It takes 1 million drops to make one raindrop. Guess what they call this? Give it a tricle. The path of the rain is called the water cycle. So good at rhyming. Here are some words that we learned on vacation. Rain, snow, sleet and hail are called precipitation. Water changing to vapor is called evaporation, and it's got the word vapor in the word evaporation. Vapor changing to water is called condensation. So there's 3 new words. Precipitation, which is all of the types of water, so rain, snow, sleet and hail and how it's changed. Evaporation is when the water is turned to vapor. And then condensation is when the vapor turns back to water. Who invented umbrellas? Well, we don't know who, but umbrellas were first made in China. It's true. Out of colourful paper mud wood called bamboo. Thousands of years ago, they were first made so out in the sun folks could walk in the shade. When it rained, they put wax on the paper. Here's why. Rain rolled off the wax, which kept folks nice and dry. We talk about that in class, that wax and water don't like each other. When air's warmer than freezing, I'd like to explain. Water falls from the clouds and it falls down as rain. When air's freezing cold, it's important to know. Water falls from the clouds, but it falls down as snow. If you magnify snowflakes the way that we are, you will see that each one is a 6-pointed star. They are made up of crystals, and each one you find is like no other snowflake. It's one of a kind. Just like us, one of a kind. The desert is dry, and the reason is clear. Its rainfall is less than 10 inches a year. Here is a word, and we both like to rhyme it. The weather a place has the most is its climate. How do you keep cool when you live in a land that is hot, dry and dusty and covered in sand? Loose-fitting clothes let breezes blow through, and light colours bounce the sun's rays off you. Where on earth is it coldest? Meteorologists say Antarctica is freezing cold every day. Land covered in ice and deep drifting snow, the air is so cold that plants cannot grow. How thick is the ice here? This makes us think quick. We are standing on ice 7,000 feet thick. We used a thermometer and now we know in the air it is colder than deep in the snow. That's why people hide in the snow when there's a snowstorm, because the actual snow is warmer. In a tropical jungle, it's hot and it's wet. If you go there to visit, you soon start to sweat. The weather is humid, which makes you feel icky. The air's full of water, that's why you feel sticky. Like I do today. Air conditioners help you feel better. Here's why. Cold air holds less water, so you feel cold and dry. In a thunderstorm, first you will see lightning flash. Next you'll hear thunder go rumble and crash. To find out how far thunderstorms are from you, try this easy trick. It's a fun thing to do. Start counting when you see the first lightning bolt flash. Stop counting when you hear the next thunder crash. Take that number, divide it by 5. When you do, that's the number of miles that the storm is from you. Lightning's electric. One flash is so strong, it could light every light in your house all year long. Now you would have to change miles into meters, wouldn't you? Or kilometers, yeah, because we're in Australia and this book is written by American people, so they talk in miles. Thunder won't hurt you, but lightning could, so here are a few things we would like you to know. Lightning strikes what is tallest, so take it from me. In a thunderstorm, never stand under a tree. Good tip. If you're out in a field and have no place to go, get as small as you can and then scrunch way down low. Stay inside your car if there's lightning around. It flows over your car and down onto the ground. Because your car has rubber tires and that stops the electrical current. If strong winds are blowing with hard driving rain, you may be in the middle of a hurricane. Winds blow in a circle both night and day, knocking lots of things down that get in their way. Here's a hurricane fact that's a favourite of mine. There can be lots of hurricanes at the same time. So each one gets a name. Andrew, Agnes or Dora, Lenny, Diana, Mitch, Bertha or Flora. They each get a name, so there's never a doubt which hurricane people are talking about. Doesn't usually happen here in Australia. We maybe get one, but in the States they get lots all at the same time, and they have people called storm chasers who go after them, chasing them, so they can record information about them. Hurricanes blow things down, but I learned from thing 2, tornadoes blow harder than hurricanes do. A tornado picks up everything it goes by like a huge vacuum cleaner way up in the sky. It spins like a top, twirling round and around, pulling trees, cars and houses right off the ground. Once in a tornado, a chicken was tossed. She landed safely, but her feathers were lost. Oh boy, how embarrassing. It's important to study the weather, it's true, but we cannot control it, whatever we do. The sun may be shining, the sky is bright blue, then suddenly rain will start falling on you. Or the sky may be filled with dark storm clouds, and then the sun will break through and shine down once again. You see, weather keeps changing, but one thing we know, it makes life exciting wherever you go. It does make it exciting, doesn't it? Imagine if you couldn't go to the snowfields and go skiing, or you couldn't go to the surf beach and go surfing on a nice hot sunny day. The weather makes our life so exciting and different. Thank you for joining me on Carmen's Australian Storytime. I hope you enjoyed that book as much as me. I just realised I forgot to read the blurb today, and there was a good blurb on the back. That's what the heat does. Sometimes it makes your brain work a little less harder. Alright, I look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget to click and subscribe.